Hi, I'm Justin Jensen, and welcome to my channel. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust, sweat, and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and may fall again and again, because there is no effort without error or shortcoming. Teddy Roosevelt. Hello, how's everyone doing? Hope you're well. Good to see you all. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. Today is April 27th. We're almost at May. Can you believe it? Spring is here. Spring. And it is 11:28 a.m. on the East Coast. Good to see everyone. Thank you all for joining me this morning. Appreciate it. Yes. Rest in peace, Jerry Springer. Jerry Springer died, broke just a little bit ago at the age of 79 years old. I didn't know he was sick. But you often hear of celebrities, you didn't really know they were sick. They keep it very private. Some tend to go public with it. But not that I'm aware of that Jerry Springer ever went live with it. And of course, everyone knows who Jerry Springer is, right? Everyone. So yeah, Jerry Springer died at the age of 79. I mean, he looked pretty good for 79. You gotta say, oh, pancreatic cancer. I didn't know that. I did not know that. So rest in peace, Jerry. Good to see everyone. Thank you all so much for joining me. Nosy, hello. Haven't seen you in a month of Sundays. Good to see you. Jessica, I see you. Suzanne, Gator, Leonard, Love, I see you. Hello. Little Smoky, Kia, Sarah, SB, Jessica, 949 Cherry, Mary T. Good to see you all. Thank you all for joining. Cancer does suck. And that's the least we can say about cancer. It can go to hell for all we care, right? So we got a lot to talk about. A lot. First, we're going to be talking about the Lori Chad Daybell saga. It's but Lori Vallow-Daybell is in trial right now. Sadly, there is no cameras allowed in the trial. We are allowed to hear the recordings, which we are going to play some. We're going to play one by Lori's sister. Her name is Summer, and it is heart-wrenching. Absolutely heart-wrenching, rather. She just, her sister and her mother did an interview, an infamous interview, taking up for Lori whenever this kind of first started going along. And they was like, listen, Lori would never hurt her kids. She was always a good mother. And that was true. That was true. But us out here in the public, we were like, no, a mother will always tell where her kids are. And when mothers, fathers, caregivers won't tell the authorities where their kids are, and then also your husband is shot, and then your niece's husband that she's getting a divorce with is shot, and then the guy that you are fooling around with, Chad, his wife dies, and then your brother dies. So the bodies are piling up. The kids aren't being told, where they're at. You're in Hawaii getting married to a new man 2 weeks after his wife just died and your husband was shot by your brother. And you're getting married in Hawaii. I mean, hello.
Hello, Moto.
So sorry. Everybody's dead. That's exactly right. And it's just one of those things. It's like, what the hell? So so she does that interview anyway. I'm getting ahead of myself. She does the interview and really is humiliated after they found Tylee and JJ's bodies in Chad Daybell's backyard, in a pet cemetery, to beat it all. And they found Tylee's remains dismembered, burned, charred. It was terrible what happened to that young teenager. JJ was found still in his pajamas that Lori had taken a photo of him about the day he died, in the same pajamas that he was found in. He was intact. However, there was a bunch of duct tape around his mouth, around his hands, which goes to tell you that JJ put up a fight. This little special needs boy who came out of the world swinging to begin with. His mother was a bad drug addict and was unable to care for him, and he had special needs. And Lori and Charles gave him those special needs until Lori met Chad Daybell, doomsday couple. And that little boy fought for his life. And it just so happens that the other day, whenever they were showing the autopsy photos, Lori didn't want to see it. Didn't want to see the autopsy photos of JJ and Tylee. Why not, Lori? This is what you wanted. This is what your idea of holy is. Do you still believe it? Do you still believe this is holy? It's unthinkable that a mother could do this to their children. So we're going to listen to some of this. I don't remember how I have the recordings here. Okay, so this is the first recording that we're going to listen to. Let me flip this camera around. Okay, this is the first recording that we're going to listen to. This is a phone call of Summer, who is Lori's sister, the one that went on national news, took up for, and now after she finds out that Lori and Chad most likely did this, her mind has definitely changed, and I have so much sympathy for her in this. So let's play it. I want to give a trigger warning out. This is hard to listen to. Trigger warning.
How are you? Not good. How are you? Not good. I don't know what to say. Do you not want to talk? I'm willing to listen if you want to talk to me. I just don't know what to say. I don't know what anybody knows. I've been in isolation for 2 weeks, so I don't know anything that's going on. I haven't talked to anyone.
I want you to notice how in every call, every single call, Lori is monotone. She sounds as calm as I sound right now, and she acts like she knows nothing. Now, you could say a lot of things about this. You know, is she brainwashed? Is she, you know, in this cult or whatever? Or is this a defensive mechanism for her to not go there? But notice how her sister obviously is in more distress than the mother of these children.
Well, they know that they found Tylee buried in a pet cemetery and JJ buried on Chad's backyard. And we don't understand how that happened or why. Can you tell us? They were devastated. Did you know they were there? Can't talk about it. I don't know what to say, Lori. I mean, you know how much I love you and Alex. It's sick to my stomach.
Now, think about this. You have your sister in jail who she knows now is a part of her niece and nephew's death. And you have her, she also has her brother, Alex, who was involved in this, and she knows this at the time. So this poor woman has essentially lost her sister, her brother, her niece, and her nephew. 4. And she lost, you know, Charles, because he was essentially a family member as well.
I didn't think anything, but you would never let anything happen to the kids and just let them be thrown away like garbage. And you can't take it that you would let this. It's too painful. Do you think I let that happen? Yes, I do. That's nice.
She said, "You're going to lie while you're dancing on the beach and your kids are in the ground." And Lori's like, "Yeah, there absolutely is something else, but I can't talk about it." A mother should be able to talk about anything freely that's not going to incriminate her, that is. But that didn't happen with Lori. She's calm every single phone call. And at every court appearance, she seems happy. She's always smiling. What a psychopath.
You had to have known when they were there. I just can't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. I want to believe the best in you. I really do. I love you with all my heart. It kills me. But they were just little kids. I don't understand. I don't understand. You know me, Summer. That's what I thought. You still do.
Lori always says that. It's such a manipulation tactic. You know me, Summer. You know me. She was talking to Melanie Gibbs that way. You know me, Melanie. You know my heart. Well, apparently nobody did. Apparently nobody did.
And you let that happen to them and didn't tell us and left me in the ground like a piece of trash. That I don't know you because you would have never done anything like that. That's correct. And if you knew and didn't tell us, that's not okay either. We love them. We would have taken them. We would have taken care of them. You could have gone on and done anything you wanted. That's what you think? I don't know what to think. None of us do. You haven't told us anything. We believed you. We stood up for you. I cannot. I would love to. You cut me and Mom off for 4 months and told everyone not to trust us because we'd tell Adam. And now we find this out and you expect me to just keep going on faith when there's been zero explanation and you expect me to just keep believing without ever having a question? I'm not saying that. That is what you're saying. Either explain it or don't expect me to not be upset and doubt you when the kids are on Chad's property. I'm okay. I love them with all my heart. I would have taken Tylee and JJ in a heartbeat. And everybody else would have too. You know that.
Charles would have taken the kids. Summer would have taken the kids. The grandparents would have, anybody would have taken the kids. It did not have to be like this. And it never has to be like this. There is always someone who will take the kids. It is never, never worth it. It is pure raw emotion. It is pure raw emotion. I can't imagine your sister being a part of murdering your nieces and nephews, and also your brother, most likely being the one who did the murdering, and he is dead as well.
If they were in any danger. I have no idea what happened. You're right. Nobody does because you said nothing. Because everybody sees what's on TV. That has nothing to do with TV. This is when you're in my conversations before you left and cut me off. And now you expect me to be there for you and you were going to abandon me. And if you weren't in jail, you wouldn't even be talking to me and we wouldn't even know they were dead still. in jail? Why didn't you tell us then? What? You didn't call me when Alex died, which now I'm glad he's gone. If he was a part of this, but
I mean, think of how she is siding with the kids and the victims in this. She even said, "I am glad Adam is also his name, is gone. If he did something, if he had something to do with that." She said that about her own brother, and that is not an easy thing to say. But she is doing the right thing by being there for her niece and nephew. These kids and every kid is in defense. They cannot defend themselves whatsoever. They're kids. And she's doing the right thing. It's really just heart-wrenching.
you didn't call to tell me Alex died or that your kids are gone. Nothing. You don't think that's going to cause pain throughout our entire family? That's never my intention. Well, you don't think I'm in pain?
Doesn't she sound like something off of a horror movie? It was never my intention. It was never my intention. This lady. What the? Oh my God. I mean, it's like something off Silence of the Lambs or something, you know? It's creepy. It was never my intention. Please.
No, I don't. I think you were dancing on the beach having a great time. Getting married. And you took pictures to prove your kids don't deserve a burial, but you need to get wedding pictures? You don't think that's upsetting? Nobody knows. I'm sorry, honey. Then nobody knows except for you and the Lord. Yeah, ask him. I have. And guess what? I don't have one scripture that says it's okay for children to be thrown away like garbage in the ground.
Yeah, where is that, Lori? Or is that just something you and your husband, Chad, pulled out of their ass from hell? That's exactly what it is. You perverted it. 666 wedding pics. Bingo. Bingo. That's exactly right. Sick, twisted. You know, people pervert religion all the time, but listen, God is love. And if you are not giving love, it is not from God. Always remember that. It's really that simple.
And that's okay. There is nothing in the scriptures that is godly about hurting a child. Nothing. And they deserve a proper burial with family that lost them at the least. I can't support that. That's hurtful to everyone. That's the most selfish, incredibly selfish thing I can think of. I can't think of anything worse. I don't understand. I don't understand. This is not my Lolo that I've known and loved. I've never even seen you be upset with your kids. I went to bat for you and said that to everyone. I never have been upset with them. I never have been. How can you just go on without them, without any upsetness, and without telling us anything, and then expect us to understand? No, who's in the world? Nobody in the world knows what I've been through. And I don't expect you to. All you've seen is what's on TV. No, that's not what he says. And all the influences of all the people around. Okay, so now I'm deceived. No, everyone in the world is deceived except for you. No, I'm not saying that at all.
Well, it's funny how, because, before she was in jail, everyone was deceived and everyone had a good energy, a bad energy. They were light or they were dark. Um, and also, I mean, she's Mormon and they go by the Book of Mormon, right? So, which I've never read the Book of Mormon, so I can't really say what it says, but I'm sure that it's not say anything about murdering your kids or anything.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying nobody's seen me on the floor crying. Nobody knows what I've been through with my children that I love more than anything. Lori, mine. You were dancing on a beach with a smile on your face, taking wedding photos. Yeah, months later. You don't trying to go on with life, trying to be happy, trying to find some kind of happiness. You think I want to be alone?
This part is what infuriates the shit out of me right here. Months later, Lori says. Months later. And then she says, I'm trying to go on with life, trying to be happy. Do you think I want to be alone? Well, do you think your kids want to be in a grave right now because of you and Chad and their uncle, Alex? It's not about you. And months later, where everybody, the entire world was looking for your kids, hello, knock, knock. Anybody home? I mean, seriously, she is sick in the head. That is the most twisted. It boils back to her. It's all about her. Do you think I want to be alone? Well, listen, you were married. You were already on your fourth or fifth marriage. Okay? How about that? So, your brother killed your husband, killed him. And your brother also tried to kill another husband before that. So, what do you mean, Lori? They would be alive if it wasn't for her. Abso-freaking-lutely. Everybody was searching for these kids, and you wouldn't tell anybody. Oh my God.
Do you think that your mother and your sister and your son don't deserve to know that the children are gone? Why wouldn't you call and tell us that? Why were we cut off? You saying you want to go on and be happy? You're just going to be happy without your family and your life until you're stuck in jail and I'm the only one stupid enough to be your friend when I've been your best supporter, Lori. I've loved you my whole life. I still do.
Yes, that's exactly what she wanted. She wanted to go on without any family members except her leader, Chad, which, not to be judgmental, but he's not that much of a catch in my eyes, at least. Just saying.
I can't bear to think of anything bad about you. It hurts me. I don't want to see you in jail. I don't want you to be there. I don't want people to misunderstand. If you would tell me the truth, I would stand up for you for the rest of time. You know that I would. I know you would. But there is nothing okay about this. Nothing.
Yes, Chad has several kids, I think like 5, and they are absolutely standing behind him. And you see this a lot of times And the only thing that I can do to make sense of like children standing behind their parents when their parents has, in my eyes, most likely allegedly murdered their other, the other parent, is they have already lost one parent. They can't bear to lose another. And they also can't bear the thought of someone they love so much, trust so much, taking the lives of the other person that they love so much. That's the only thing in my mind that I could rationalize to make sense. Chad had or had his wife killed allegedly at this point. He's not convicted, but they lost their mom. Chad said she was very sick. She wasn't sick. She had just ran a marathon or was going to run a marathon. And she was absolutely fine. And how they can believe that their mom just died one random day out of nowhere. She goes to bed fine. And she's dead the next morning. And she died, as we now know, of asphyxiation. So now what? They still not believe after all of the evidence out of finding two dead bodies in the back of their yard, their own yard, that the home that they live in, of children in the back of your yard, your mother dying, all the people around you dying, the text messages, the data, the photos of you and, Chad being upbeat at his wife's funeral, and then him being in Hawaii 2 weeks later, getting married to a new woman. How can they stand behind that? I don't know. Chad gave each kid $4,000 exactly, Justin. Well, and then he got a big, large payout. I'll never understand it. I will never understand it.
I know. If you think it's okay, well, you have greatly been deceived if you think this is okay. Nothing about this is okay, Summer. We have all read the scriptures. I know you've told me about a lot of your spiritual experiences. You know I've tried to support you in all of them. But I am telling you, because I love you with all my heart, please consider that Chad has lied and been deceived, and that you have been deceived, and that this is not what you think it is. There's nothing okay about killing children. Nothing. And even if you didn't kill them, and Chad didn't kill them, and Alex didn't kill them, you threw them away like garbage in the ground. You Tylee's bones are burned. I can't handle that. And threw her in a pet cemetery. You know that's so degrading. How could you let them do that? I don't understand. It's so painful. I can't even tell you.
Not only threw her and JJ in a pet cemetery. This is Summer on the photo here. and next to her is her niece, Tylee. This young girl was dismembered. And obviously, they couldn't find out how she died. Now, JJ died of asphyxiation. But we're going to talk about this after this is over. He also had a date R drug in his body at the time of his death. He had this child had a date R drug in his system. And the kid put up a fight, this special needs boy. Go to hell, Lori.
I don't know what else to say, but please consider that you have been deceived. That is not
Yes, please do.
Christ-like. There's nothing good in that. There's nothing good in that. That's not a test for you. You were innocent. And they were loved. And they didn't deserve to be treated that way. And who loved them their whole life and took care of them their whole life? So why would you let them be buried that way? I didn't. Well, then come up with an explanation publicly.
Ask him anything else?
So that is the heart-wrenching call that Summer made to Lori, talking about JJ and Tylee. Very sad. We're going to move on now to Zulema. Now, Zulema is Alex Cox. This is his girlfriend slash now wife. They were married for a very short period of time, just a matter of a month or two, until Alex died. Now, Alex apparently died of natural causes, according to the autopsy. He died the day of, or the day before, I can't remember, they were to exhume Tammy Daybell, which is Chad's deceased wife. He died in a bathroom of basically a heart attack. And Alex was the hit guy, if you will, by all intents. He was the one who most likely did the acts. Well, he did kill Charles, admittedly. He says in self-defense. I think it was a setup, and I think most people think it was a setup as well. He also most likely did this to JJ and Tylee, which we know he was in the backyard the night that JJ and Tylee was buried. We have that with phone records. That's how they found out that they was in the backyard. They looked at Alex's phone records and noticed he was in the backyard on a few different nights. And the neighbors also know that there was big bonfires out there at the time. So what we're going to hear is Zulema. The conversations, this is her testifying, talking about what Alex had said to her. And she states that Alex, at the very end, realized that he was going to be the fall guy. I still think it's suspicious how Alex died, even though they say it's of natural causes. There's something in me that just says I don't know. I just feel like there's something more to that. I mean, maybe stress did it to him, but if they got rid of Alex, who's going to talk, right? So here we go.
Yes, I kept pressuring him.
And then what?
Things were very, very weird at this time. They just seemed that there was so much going on and so weird and so bizarre. And I started pressuring him for information. So I told him, I said, what is going on? What is happening? How come they're not here? You don't even know where they're at. We don't even know where they're at now.
When you say they, who are you talking about?
Lori and Chad. We don't know where Lori and Chad are at. What is happening?
And what reaction did he have? Ultimately, what did he say?
He was very quiet and unresponsive. And then he said, I think I'm being their fall guy.
I think I'm being their fall guy. So after everyone that was disposed of, that's when Chad and Lori skip town, go to Hawaii, and living their best life, as they would think. And Alex is back here, which him and his sister Lori has always had a questionable relationship. They have said sexual comments to each other, inappropriate comments toward each other, kind of throughout their entire life. And their exes have talked about this publicly, how it kind of, creeped them out. And Alex was always, I think he always wanted his sister's approval no matter what the cost was. And he actually went to jail previously for trying to have Lori's ex-husband killed. So he thought he was going to be the fall guy. And he probably was. Let's continue. Thank you so much, Jilly. I appreciate it. 499. Hello, Justin. Chat working but listening. Thank you so much for your donation. I appreciate it, Jilly.
Did you ask him anything else?
Yes, I kept pressuring him.
Did you ask him about that conversation?
After they were done talking, after they hung up, yeah.
Okay. What did you ask him about?
I was very confused about the reason why they would be exhuming Tammy's body. And I was asking him, why would they be exhuming her body? If she had died of natural causes, or and I asked him if he was involved in anything that to do with Tammy's death.
Okay. And then what did he say?
He said no.
So Zulema was actually a part of the cult, to be quite honest with you. She was in it as well. And I think at the very end, she realized, like Melanie Gibb and all of them, that, something's not adding up here. But nonetheless, she fell for it as well. So, it is what it is. But he's absolutely going to be the fall guy. Yeah, he was definitely going to be the fall guy. But she's talking here about Tammy. Why are they exhuming her? And I think that's when questions really kind of went into play with him.
Could you did you ask him about that conversation?
December 12th.
Okay. Had you received information about anything going on in Rexburg, or actually in Utah, the day before Alex passed away?
Or I think Zulema.
I had a very long day at work, and I came home probably around 7:30 p.m. And when I came into my bedroom, Alex was on the phone with Chad and Lori, and they were telling him that Tammy's body was being exhumed on that day. That was December 11th.
Okay. And were you present in the room with him while he was on the phone with Chad and Lori?
Yes.
Okay. Did he talk about any of your prior lives in terms of?
So Zulema had came home from work that day, and Alex was on the phone with Lori and Chad, and they were talking about Tammy being exhumed. Now, I would love to have heard that conversation. And either that day or the day after, that is when Alex died. Very interesting timing, though they say that it was natural through the coroner, the autopsy. It's so strange. At very best, it's strange.
How you passed away in that conversation.
Okay, here they're going to talk about Chad and Lori talking about their previous lives and who they were married to and dark spirits and all of that. Very interesting.
He told me that I had been Lori's daughter, and during that probation, or during that time during that life, that I had been killed at a very young age, at age 14, that I had been raped, and then that my body had been dismembered by the Lamanites, and I was killed at the same time that Lori was, when she was my mother during that life.
I want to know, did Chad and Lori really believe this? Or was this just something Chad was living out his fantasy or something? Like, do they really believe this? Like, seriously. I think I'm muted. Maybe. Could y'all hear me? I don't know. But I don't. Do they really believe this? Who the hell knows? But I don't know. Thank you, Jenna. I don't know why your membership's not showing up, but thank you to all the members. I appreciate you all. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button if you don't mind. I would really appreciate it. It really helps me out. Thank you.
Did he talk about any of your prior lives in terms of how you passed away in that conversation?
He told me that I had been.
Did he talk about any of your prior lives in terms of how you passed away in that conversation?
He told me that I had been Lori's daughter, and during that, and then that my body had been
about any of your prior lives in terms of how you passed away in that conversation?
He told me that I had been what he rated people whether they were light or dark, and so he gave me a rating of the light, how light I was, and then he told me that I had come, that I had other lives on this earth, and he gave me the times and who I was on the prior lives that I had lived on this earth.
And did he go into detail about what he said were your prior lives?
Yes.
Okay.
Chad said that he had some information to give me about my prior lives and probations, and he really wanted to speak with me.
Chad, Lori, the only probation you guys will be getting is not probation. That's the only probation you will be getting in this lifetime is not probation, probably. And I hope the hell you guys never get probation of anything, ever, ever. And the world didn't end exactly.
In regards to that.
Okay. Who was present at this lunch?
Melanie Gibb, Lori Vallow, and Chad Daybell.
Okay. So what did he tell you about at the lunch at Firebirds?
He was trying to tell me what the information, he was trying to give me the information, but for some reason, Chad and Lori didn't want Melanie to hear what he was going to tell me.
Funeral home?
Hello, my name is.
Yeah. So there's that, and they rated either you were a light spirit or a dark spirit. And like, for instance, Charles was a dark spirit, but they casted out a demon, and then a new demon came back named Ned Snyder, I think it was, they named it. And it was a worse demon. And when it was a really, really bad demon, the only way, according to Chad and his pervertedness of the scripture, is they had to get rid of the person's whole entire body. Like, you had to kill them to get rid of that kind of evil spirit. And they rated JJ, and obviously, as dark, which is the stupidest thing. A kid is nothing but light and love and sweetness. And of course, they did that to Ty Lee as well. And of course, I guess Tammy. But notice how they didn't do that to any of Chad's kids. They did it to his wife, but not Chad's kids, which was interesting to me. And I'm thankful that they didn't. But if Chad believed all of this stuff, what was the difference? I'm just saying. Now we are going to go to Chad's phone call with the funeral home. Chad pretended that he was, I believe, the nephew of Charles, which is Lori's husband at the time, who was killed by Lori's brother, Alex, and listens to the way he talks to the funeral director. Very interesting.
With your calls, how can I help you today?
We just had a death in the family, and we really don't want anything but a cremation, and then to send the cremains to a family in Louisiana. Just a simple, nothing other than a cremation and sending him to his family for.
So Chad is calling the day after Charles is gunned down, and he's like, we need a simple burial, nothing else, or sorry, just a cremation, and to ship his cremains to I can't even think right now, to New Orleans. So they wanted to cremate him, ship him off, and that was it. That was it. Cold-hearted.
Service in Louisiana. So, is there any way to know a ballpark price on that?
Yes, and I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Okay, let me transfer you over to a director who can assist you with the pricing. What is your name, please?
It is Daybell.
How do you spell the last name, please?
Dabbal. Daybell.
How are you related to the person who passed?
I'm his nephew. In her home?
Hello, my name is I'm with their calls. How can I help? Yes, what is your uncle's name for reference, please?
He is John Daybell.
Your last name?
Well, Dabbal.
And
The same. John.
do you have a middle name?
Myron.
Myron?
Yeah.
And Chad, what is your phone number in case we get disconnected?
Yes. This number 515. I don't actually know my own number. Let me look real quick.
Thank you.
So Chad's just laughing and very calm, living it up. He just wants Charles cremated as fast as possible and shipped to the family, which is, Kay and Larry Woodcock. That's it. And I don't even think Kay and Larry knew. I don't even think they knew at this point that he was dead the next day. I don't even think they knew that he was actually dead. But they're getting ready to ship him, cremate him and ship him off. They don't even know he's dead.
Thank you. Is he at a nursing home, hospital, or residence?
He passed away in a hospital. I don't know the details. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, it's just for, okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Yes, what is your uncle's name? Funeral director with Vallow Cemetery. I understand that your uncle passed away.
Yes. And I'm just starting the process for the family. He didn't have many relatives. I'm his nephew. I live in Iowa. But what they want to do, it's sad to see him go. Yeah, I think
Funeral director said, "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that." And Chad goes, "Yeah, sad to see him go." I can't. Like, I seriously can't. Yeah, sad to see him go. Now, remember, Chad used to be a gravedigger. That's what he did for many years. He worked at a grave digging facility.
he's going to the medical examiner. I don't know all the details, but what the family basically wants is just to have him cremated there.
He said he died at the hospital. He didn't want to say he was shot and killed. Didn't want to say that, did you, Chad? He died at the hospital. He was dead on the floor of Lori's home. That she had only lived there 2 weeks, by the way.
Chandler, and then have his cremains shipped to New Orleans, and we'll deal with the service later. So just trying to get a ballpark price.
Okay, funeral director with Vallow Cemetery. Okay?
So
now what that's
close,
going to
about
include is the
2,000 probably,
transportation into our
kind of a
care,
ballpark.
the transportation to and from our cemetery, our basic professional fees,
Well,
as
that
well
helps me a lot.
as our
I mean, recall one or two others, but I'll get back to you and come that direction. Thank you so much.
We are going to welcome anything else. Death certificates, which are 20
Okay.
Okay.
So that is that. They recently, article came out about JJ. Lori Vallow-Daybell's youngest son had a date R drug in his body at the time of his death. The pathologist testified that the Idaho mom, Lori Vallow-Daybell's young son, had traces of alcohol and a chemical GHB, commonly known as a date R drug, in his system when authorities discovered his body 3 years ago. Dr. Garth Warren of the Ada County Coroner's Office said Wednesday during the Vallow-Daybell triple murder trial, 7-year-old Joshua J.J. Vallow died from asphyxia by a plastic bag to the head and duct tape over the mouth in June of 2020. But Warren said the body's toxicology report showed low levels of gamma hydroburic acid in his liver samples, known as GHB, alcohol, caffeine, and thebromine that can usually be found in cocoa and tea, according to Idaho East News. According to the distribution, despite the disturbing revelation, Warren testified that they couldn't tell how GHB, also known as a party date R drug, also known as G, got into JJ's system. There's really no way for us to tell whether this is just naturally occurring product in the body that was there or if JJ had been given GHB. He said, I can't say one way or the other based on the levels. Warren also did not say how alcohol got into JJ's remains. Vallow's trial has been the subject of national fascination. The former All-American Mom and Miss Texas beauty pageant winner was a subject of the Netflix documentary that depicted her downfall after better days, such as winning $17,500 in 2004 on Wheel of Fortune. Yes, she was a contestant on Wheel of Country Girl. You're not blocked, baby. Thank you for being here. Glad to see you. So yeah, there's that. So we're going to definitely keep following this case we have since the beginning, but I want to give a couple more update. Well, I want to tell you about a new story that is out, but first, we have been on the Serenity McKinney case since the beginning, and we have been in close contact with Serenity's grandmother, not the one grandmother that we had, but the other grandmother on the father's side, the bio father's side, since day one. And I'm going to tell you that I am personally not happy with the outcome, but Abby, Serenity's mother, did get a sentence. She was found guilty. She pled guilty for a lesser charge. Did I miss something? I don't know if I missed something. But thank you for gifting one membership. Thank you so much. And thank you, Julie, so much. I appreciate it for the super chat. Thank you so much. She did get, she pled guilty for a lesser sentence, and she got a lesser sentence. Remember, she's, I think 20 years old or something, Abby is. She got 12 years for the murder of her daughter. 12 years. In my opinion, that is not enough. I'm extremely disheartened about it, but it's better than nothing, I suppose, but it's still not enough. In my personal opinion, a minimum of 25 to 30 years should have been minimum. But that's just me. 12 years is not enough. So I'm going to play what the judge said. It's very brief. Let me find it here. Okay.
On in domestic violence situations until they have been through it. What happened to this little girl is nothing short of horrific. There are horror movies that have less impact on a person than what happened in that statement.
So it is. It is. And it's not enough time, in my opinion. That was the judge. He was fighting back tears and said that, let me pull this up. Judge calls what happened to Serenity 4-year-old horrific. Mother is sentenced. Here is a picture of Abby. They said that Abby was remorseful, that she was crying during the trial. But you know what? You weren't crying when you were cracked out, and Dakota meant more to you, more than your child. I get it. There may have been DV involved, but I'm sorry. At the end of the day, you have to protect your child at all costs. And you ran and you didn't speak even when you could have. That's the thing. Even after they caught her, she wouldn't speak and say where her daughter was found. The police had to do old-fashioned detective work to find where Serenity was. They found her along the side of the road where she had been missing for months upon months, in a luggage bag next to the side of the road with like a sandy substance in with her. Very, very troublesome. So McKinney appeared for sentencing Wednesday morning in the Bullitt County Court. She was sentenced to 12 years. She accepted a plea deal earlier this month. During the plea bargain hearing, it was alleged that McKinney's boyfriend, Dakota Hill, which his trial will be coming up soon, subjected the mother and daughter to a horrific abuse. Now, he should be getting more time, hopefully a substantial more time than the mother of Serenity McKinney, Catherine. The girl's father, David Roller, David, he is doing so much better now. He is staying clean, and I'm so thankful that he is really honoring his daughter through his sobriety and every day, just shining the light of Serenity around with him. So, but he testified at the trial. He said, quote, "I just don't understand because I thought she was safe with you," end quote. That is what David, the father, bio father of Serenity McKinney, said. Serenity's body was found near the Bullitt-Jefferson County line in February of 2020. I'll never forget that day as long as I live. Shortly after extended family reported her missing, McKinney and Dakota Hill were arrested the next day and charged with murder. They were on the run. They were found, I think, in Kansas. At any point, in any moment, somebody would have came and got her. David, the father of Serenity, said someone would have taken care of her. Somebody would have gotten you out of the situation. Somebody would have done something. And I would have moved heaven and hell to make sure that had happened, to make sure you all were safe. Under the terms of the plea deal, McKinney agreed to plead guilty of manslaughter in exchange for a 12-year sentence. She's young. She'll be out by early 30s, maybe late 20s. McKinney's attorney, Cami Grande, said her client is full of remorse and regret. Quote, Abby was horrifically and severely mentally and physically abused by Dakota Hill, Grande said. She had been beaten, tortured so badly that her body was bruised, bloody, and broken so badly that she was permanently physical deformities. A medical examination found Serenity had broken bones when she died. The mother's plea deal calls for her to testify against Hill. Quote, nobody knows what a domestic violence situation until they have gone through it. Presiding Judge Rodney Burris said, quote, what happened to this little girl is nothing short of horrific. There are horror movies that have less impact on a person than what happened in that statement. Tears could be seen on McKinney's face as Serenity's family talked about the impact of their loss. Quote, there are probably and always will be a nightmare for our family, Serenity's grandmother, Melanie Roller, said. Abby, what you allowed to happen has destroyed us. Quote, I honestly can't wait to see my baby girl again, and I hope you find peace wherever you are, said David Roller, the father of Serenity McKinney. In all, McKinney pleaded guilty to manslaughter, abuse of a corpse, and tampering with evidence. Hill's murder trial is scheduled for June. We'll keep you guys up to date on that for sure. Now, one last story I want to talk to you guys about, and this is just developing recently. I want to give you guys a trigger warning because this is a lot. A community shocked by 6-year-old body found stuffed in a bucket at neighborhood home. So they found a 6-year-old child the neighbors found yesterday in a bucket, and there is surveillance camera. Hold on. Let me mute this real quick. Before we play this, we're going to look at this Ring doorbell. It is terrible. Oh, come on. I'm not sure if there's volume to this. Okay, yeah, there is volume. Now notice this person. They got it blurred out. They're carrying a 6-year-old in a wagon, in a bucket. What the hell is going on here? Jesus. So sad. Did somebody gift memberships or something? My thing just rang, but I don't see anything. So if you did, thank you, mods. Just let me know. So I'm going to take you guys and let you listen to the sheriff on this. It's quite troubling. Trigger warning.
The Jefferson Parish Coroner Jerry Sutanovich, Harahan Mayor Tim Baudier, and Jefferson Parish Councilman Dino Bonanno. Here to announce a very sad case in the city of Harahan, which occurred last night and this morning. Earlier today at around 7:30 a.m., a father walked into the Harahan Police Department to report his child, along with his 43-year-old girlfriend, missing. When he woke up this morning, the 6-year-old and the 43-year-old were not in the house, although an older child was still in the house there. Reported it to the Harahan Police Department. They started investigating it as a missing person.
Is it playing the video? Let me know. Is it playing the video? Because on my end, it said it wasn't. It was. Okay.
They went to the house, started doing canvasses in that neighborhood. The mother of the biological mother of the child lives approximately 1 block away around the corner. So the investigation led to go to that location. Upon arriving at that location, they located best to be able to describe it, maybe a 10-gallon bucket. It's a chlorine bucket, large, a little larger than a 5-gallon bucket on the front lawn of the mother's house. When they opened up that bucket, they found the 60-year-old deceased inside that bucket. Turned into a homicide investigation. Obviously, at that point, homicide detectives from Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office were called out to the scene. We utilized not only our resources with the Sheriff's Office, but also used the Major Crimes Task Force to come out and try to start canvassing the neighborhood, which our attention was drawn very quickly to the missing girlfriend, who is now missing in action, right? We could not necessarily find her. We were able to find numerous video from different households in the neighboring area, which showed her pulling a wagon down late last night with the bucket inside the back of that wagon. Ended up performing an autopsy today on the child, and we can classify the child's death as a homicide at this point in time. We ended up doing extensive interviews with both the mother and the father, the biological mother and the father. We do not believe that they are involved in any foul play involved with the death of Miss Bella Fontenot, who is the 6-year-old that is deceased. Those interviews also continue to lead us in our investigation, looking for the suspect in this case, which I have 3 different names. Hannah Landon, which is an American name. She is described as an Asian female. Hannah Landon, H-A-N-N-A-H, last name Landon, L-A-N-D-O-N, also known as Bunak Lim, B-U-N-N-A-K, last name L-I-M, or Bunak Landon, 43-year-old Asian female. As we were doing our best in order to locate her around 2 o'clock this afternoon, we were notified that she was possibly at one of our local hospitals. We were able to locate her at one of the local hospitals. She is now in JPSO custody, where she'll hopefully later be booked with at least 1 count of first-degree murder and obstruction of justice. Got a lot of different evidence with a lot of different scenes here, that we'll continue to work through. But of course, we have an arrest, and we have, more tragically, the death of the 6-year-old, which is going to be a big shock to the small community of Harahan. With that, I'll turn it over to Chief LaPree for any questions, and I'll take some questions afterwards, Joe.
Thank you, Sheriff. My name is Ed LaPree. I'm the Harahan Police Chief. This morning I was out of town at a conference, an FBI conference down in Orlando. I got a call from my staff in reference to a missing child. Immediately after learning more information, I reached out to the sheriff and the other chiefs that were with me at the conference. All offered to help. The sheriff and his staff, I can't thank them enough for coming in and working with our guys. Our guys responded. They were doing the right things. We just needed a little extra help, and I appreciate the sheriff for coming in and offering the assistance to develop this case. They were keeping me abreast on the hour. They got me an earlier flight. I just got back in from out of town, but I appreciate everything. The city of Harahan is still safe. It is a safe city. There's no threat to the public right now. There is an arrest. There is a case being worked. The sheriff, as we get more information, and if it's necessary to report, we will. But at this time, I appreciate all the outside agencies that came in, gave assistance to us. We're a small town. We're a safe town, and I just want the citizens to know that my heart and my prayers go out to the family of this child. This is a senseless type incident that happened, but I can assure you that the Harahan Police Department and the Sheriff's Office are there for the family, and we keep them in our prayers, and I thank y'all.
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Jerry Satanovich, Jefferson Parish Coroner. I want to start off by saying thank you to everybody involved in this case, from the 911 dispatchers to EMS to law enforcement, and last but not least, the people in my office. Cases like this are hard. You know, we're parents, brothers, sisters, so it's very difficult and it affects everybody. So thanks to all of them, and they're very much appreciated for what they do. The young lady, the decedent, is Bella Fontanelle. That's B-E-L-L-A. Last name is F-O-N-T-E-N-E-L-L-E. 6-year-old female. The manner of death is homicide. She has multiple injuries, and I'm not going to get into details regarding the injuries because this is still a fluid investigation with a lot of interviews that have yet to happen. So those details will come out. We're not, hiding them. We're just delaying the release of those. Thank you very much.
I'll take any questions if anybody has any.
Sheriff, why was Miss Landon or Miss Lim, why didn't she go to the hospital?
I'm not going to release that at this point in time. She, as I said, the arrest has just been made on her in the last couple of hours, so we haven't had the opportunity to interview her, although we're going to attempt that. So that's part of the reason that we're not releasing the cause of death of injuries and some of those information. So I'll probably will release that to you at the appropriate time, but right now it's not the appropriate time.
Sheriff, you said the bucket was found in the yard of
It was in the front yard of the biological mother's house.
Of the little girl?
Yeah, so we believe the child was killed at the father's house, which happens to be about a block away, and then transported over to the mother's house, and then taken out of a wagon, actually, is how I was transported.
Is her home on Sedgefield and the father is
The
Donald?
father is on Donlin, the mother is on Sedgefield, that's correct.
Do you know if the girlfriend had planned anything, or do you have a possible motive?
I don't have any information to be able to share, as that interview has not happened yet.
Or any chance that it could have been accidental, or is that
No, I think the coroner made it clear. I think the manner of death is certainly a homicide. Yeah.
Was there issues with the girlfriend and the biological mother, and why was the child placed on the mother's front lawn?
I don't know the answers to that yet.
Do you know if the girlfriend lived with the child? And
Yes,
the
girlfriend lived with the father, the biological father, and I believe they had joint custody, so at both times lived with both parties.
Did the biological mother find the bucket? Was she home at the time? Or
She was home. Harahan Police Department was there with her, but she was home at the time. That's correct.
Was she the one that
I don't know exactly. I think that bucket was determined by him. I don't know who opened it, to be honest with you.
Can you talk any more about the mental state of the girlfriend?
No, not yet. I mean, again, this has all happened within the last couple hours. Really, she got to our detective bureau while we were here. So, I mean, let my detectives work for a little bit.
Where's the dad right
now? Dad, again, went through extensive interviews today. I don't know if he's been released yet, but he should be released, fully cooperative from that standpoint. Don't believe he was involved in the murder by any means, but I don't know if he's. When I left the detective bureau, he was still there, but he certainly could have been released by now.
Sheriff, and the
his
other.
emotions today?
What's that?
Can you talk about his emotions today, the dad's?
Oh, I mean, look, you can imagine. I mean, I'm not going to speak for him, but I mean, both him and the mother are certainly extremely upset, which you would imagine on any person that lost.
So there we have it. It does. It sounds like it kind of reminds you of another Letitia, like someone said in chat earlier. It really kind of feels that way. I mean, this person, murdered a child and then literally, wrong one, literally, let me find it here. Dumps this child in a wagon in a bucket. What the hell is that? It's just absolutely insane. So parents have to know who they bring into the yeah. I have not seen a photo of this woman yet, an arrest photo, and I have not. Julie, thank you so much for gifting membership. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me right now. Thank you. I haven't seen a photo of this woman, and I have not seen a photo of the child yet. This is still a fluid situation. The moment that there is an update, I will go live and we will follow this to the end, as we do all the cases we talk about. Yeah, you got to be careful who, I've said this 1,000 times, guys, so many times. It is a step parent, just as the same it was in Serenity McKinney's case, just as in the case it is Letitia Stout's case, Gannon Stout, just as in the case it is this, and so many more. Very few people will love your children like you love your children, just the way it is. Oh my goodness, Julie, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. God bless you. Thank you. It means a lot. It really does. Thank you tremendously. Yay. Thank you all. I appreciate you. I will be live probably in just a little bit on my second channel, Clutch Them Pearls. If you want to go over there, it's where we kind of hang out, talk about anything we want to, and just chillax a little bit. So I appreciate you all. Hopefully JJ and Tylee, which I do believe that they are going to get justice, as much as we can serve in this life, at least. And I missed you too, my dear. I'm back. I did take some time off. I've been working a lot with my other job, and I had to travel some. So I'm back. I'll be live more. You're going to see me more. No, Lisa, I didn't. I'm having a hard time going live on my phone through Kick. So I'm trying to work out that problem. But you're right, Laura. The amount of evil that is in this world is sickening. Attitude is everything. People, attitude is everything. Choose to have a positive attitude. Make it intentional to have a good attitude. Have an attitude of gratitude always. We only get so many trips around the sun. If it doesn't matter 10 years from now, it doesn't matter, right? It matters, but it doesn't matter that it's life changing. Don't be so upset about something that's not so much life-changing. Be good to one another. If you disagree with one another, fine, disagree with one another, but that doesn't mean we have to be hateful, bitter toward one another. It's not worth it. Keep a positive attitude, and life will be better. It really will. So I appreciate you all. I'll be live on Clutch Them Pearls shortly. If you guys want to join me over there, I appreciate you all. Again, thank you all for the gifts that you have given of just being here. Thank you for your memberships, super chats, all of that. Thank you all. I appreciate you, and I will see you guys in the next one. God bless.